So what if there's a melody that's just one note? So the only way to make it sound interesting, apart from the rhythm, is the chords. Then this is probably something that Ed Sheeran would do.
All the smell of smoke and the lay of the land and the feeling fine in one's heart, in one's hand.
The classic 1-5-6-4 chord progression in the key of E major. So we're exploring the song The 4th of July by James Taylor, where he just sings that E note over the entire chord progression. And in this video, we're building it up till we have what eventually ended up on the record. The perfect chord progression. Yes, again. So step by step, adding more complex concepts to it. So if all of these terms go above your head, it's awesome to just listen to how the progression evolves as we go along. So let's move on to level number 2. So we can easily spice these basic chords up with just adding the top 2 strings over everything.
All the smell of smoke and the lay of the land and the feeling fine in one's heart, in one's hand.
But this is not the direction I want to go in. So I want to introduce 7th chords and compound chords. Something that maybe Jason Mraz would do.
All the smell of smoke and the lay of the land and the feeling fine in one's heart, in one's hand.
A bit repetitive, you say. Well, I guess I agree. So now I'd love to introduce the concept of a secondary dominant. So we all know that dominant sound, the strong resolution from that 5 chord to the 1 chord, to the home chord. And the secondary dominant adds another resolution, but not towards the home chord, but towards another chord of your choice, basically. So if we throw one in, this is how it sounds.
All the smell of smoke and the lay of the land and the feeling fine in one's heart, in one's hand. Tiny tin voices of the radio band singing love must stand, love forever.
So in this case, the F♯7 I played was the secondary dominant, leading to B7, leading beautifully back to E major again, the home chord. But this is a bit too cheesy for me, it's too major. So let's play the whole thing in minor. And now we use the relative minor. So the relative minor of E major is C# minor. They use, like the scales use the same notes, but it's viewed from a different perspective, if you will. So this is the perfect way to change the mood a little bit. Let's have a listen.
All the smell of smoke and the lay of the land and the feeling fine in one's heart, in one's hand.
It sounds a bit like a classic turnaround, right? So a cool thing about the secondary dominant is that you can throw in as many as you like. And James Taylor, apparently, he likes them. I like them too. So I've now bombarded an E major chord to a secondary dominant, turning it into an E7th chord. And then this chord leads to A major, baby. So, whole new territory. Let's have a listen.
All the smell of smoke and the lay of the land and the feeling fine in one's heart.
Alright, so now we pivoted via that E7 chord to the A major chord. Sort of a new territory, new explorations. Where can we go from here, from that A major? Still at E on top. Still sounds beautiful, right? So I think it's time to introduce the concept of a 2-5-1. And even if the words sound like gibberish to you, I'm sure you will recognize the sound of it. It sounds like this. 2-5-1. In A major, it's B minor 7, E7. Back to A. Let's have a listen.
All the smell of smoke and the lay of the land and the feeling fine in one's heart, in one's hand.
One more time.
Tiny tin voices of the radio band singing love must stand, love forever, love must stand.
Alright, sounding epic, right? That A chord is, it's taking too long right now. I'm playing it twice. So let's use the good old blues trick of adding a diminished chord in there. Before we go there, I want to say that I love playing the acoustic guitar and I often feel like nothing beats it, and that's why I made a guitar course focusing just on the acoustic. It's called Acoustic Adventure, and there's this awesome interactive map where you can visit places like the Fingerpicking Lounge or the Flat Pickers Saloon and pick your favorite lessons from there. We cover styles from swampy fingerstyle blues to awesome modern guitar techniques. Strumming and picking, there's a lot, so please check it out at acousticadventure.com. It would mean the world to me. So now back to the diminished chord. We went from A to B flat diminished, and the rest stays the same. Let's have a listen how it sounds.
Oh, the smell of smoke and the lay of land and feeling fine in one's heart and one's hand.
One more time.
Tiny tin voices of a radio band singing love must stand, love forever and ever.
Alright, sounding cool. We're getting very close to the actual chord progression of the song, the 4th of July, but we need to make some drastic changes. So in the first line, the B7 we're playing, it now becomes a B minor 7. So actually that becomes the 2, 5 of the A we're going to in the second line. It's pretty typical. But then there's one more thing, that A becomes an A minor, and that's a little bit strange for now. You will see later why it makes sense. So B minor, E7 to A minor. Alright, here we go, level 9.
Oh, the smell of smoke and the lay of land and feeling fine in one's heart and one's hand and tiny tin voices of a radio band singing love must stand, love forever and ever must stand.
Alright, so now it's time for a thought experiment. So we changed the A to an A minor. Because what if that A minor is actually the 2 of a 2-5-1? What would be the key then? Well, G major, A minor 7, D7, G major 7. And that's exactly what happens the second time round. It's so awesome. So have a listen.
Oh, the smell of smoke and the lay of land and feeling fine in one's heart and one's hand and tiny tin voices of a radio band singing love must stand, love forever and ever must stand.
So it really shakes you up when you suddenly go to that A minor, D7, G, and then a C major 7. It's a typical jazz progression, really. It's super cliche, maybe autumn leaves, old stuff. So we're almost getting to the final chord progression, 2 more steps. So now we're adding a tritone substitution. So where we played A minor, D7 to G major 7, we're substituting the D7th for its tritone, or a chord built upon the tritone of D, which is A flat. And then we play a 7th chord over there. There you get that chromatically descending bass line. Let's have a listen, it sounds pretty cool.
Oh, the smell of smoke and the lay of land and feeling fine in one's heart and one's hand and tiny tin voices of a radio band singing love must stand,
etc. So that's kind of cool, right? Beautiful chromatically walking bass line. So step 12, the last one. Adding as many jazzy extensions to our chords as we can. So we already had some cool chromatic lines in. But the new chord just adds another chromatic line on top of that. Listen. And that high note just keeps on singing on top. It's pretty wicked. Okay, let's have a listen.
oh, the smell of smoke and the lay of land and feeling fine in one's heart and one's hand and tiny tin voices of a radio band singing love must stand, love forever and ever must stand.
Woo! So how awesome does this sound? I think it's pretty epic and it sounds great with all these jazzy lines going on. But I want to hear from you. What do you think about this chord progression? Is it too much for you? Too jazzy? Are you more into the Ed Sheeran chord progression? There's nothing wrong with that. So if you're into acoustic, please check out Acoustic Adventure, just saying it again. And otherwise, I'm sure you will enjoy one of these videos popping up over here. And of course, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. See you next time. This was Paul. Goodbye.